everyone, including the Ukrainians and all the countries of Europe, are begging the United States to be engaged, engage Putin, and try to get him to agree to a peace agreement.
US President Donald Trump is reportedly increasing pressure on Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of a high-stakes summit at the White House. The meeting, set for August 18th, could shape the future of the war in Ukraine and test whether Trump can broker peace between Kiev and Moscow. According to CNN, Trump is echoing several of Moscow's key demands following the meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Describing the meeting a success, Trump posted on social media that great progress is being made. But the world wonders what progress and at what cost still remains unclear. Speaking to CNN on August 17th, Trump envoy Steve Witkoff claimed that Russia had softened its stance. Calling the talks as game-changing, Witkoff suggested Moscow was open to security guarantees for Ukraine and even significant land swaps. However, no such concessions have been confirmed by the Kremlin. European officials, speaking to CNN, said Putin continues to demand Ukrainian withdrawal from key parts of the Donbas, which for both parties is a strategically and economically vital region. For Zelensky, any agreement to surrender this territory would be politically and militarily disastrous. And after 3.5 years of war, Ukraine has suffered enormous losses defending the region. Despite the secrecy surrounding the Trump-Putin meeting, the president publicly asserted that Ukraine must strike a deal. Referring to Ukraine, Trump told Fox News,
"Russia is a very big power, and they're not."
His statement on Truth Social also reflected Kremlin rhetoric and has therefore sparked concern in Kiev and across European capitals.
President Zelensky of Ukraine can end the war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Remember how it started. No getting back. Obama given Crimea 12 years ago without a shot being fired, and no going into NATO by Ukraine. Some things never change.
The fear is that Trump may be preparing to pressure Zelensky into accepting Putin's terms or face the blame for prolonging the conflict. Now, all of this comes as European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and others are expected to join the talks in Washington. The stakes are high and the dynamics volatile. Trump's Alaska meeting with Putin drew criticism from Western officials, who were alarmed by the warm reception he gave to Putin, whom Ukraine accused of war crimes. Trump's shift toward Russia's stance, abandoning the idea of an immediate ceasefire in favor of a broader peace settlement, was widely seen as a win for Moscow. Still, Witkoff defended Trump's approach and claimed that Putin had accepted a proposed security arrangement involving Ukraine, the US, and European powers. He likened it to NATO's Article 5, but made clear it would not involve actual NATO membership, something which Putin continues to oppose.
It means that the United States is potentially prepared to be able to give Article 5 security guarantees, but not from NATO, directly from the United States and other European countries. That is big. I mean, really big.
Does it mean boots on the ground? What does it mean, but logistically?
I think part of the discussion that we're going to have on Monday throughout the day, because there's going to be breakout sessions there, is exactly the specifics of what the Ukrainians feel that they need. Because remember, as mediators, we were at this summit to advance the Ukrainian position, and we did that, and we did it successfully. Now it's for us to drill down on the granular details of exactly what the Ukrainians need to give them a sense of security in the future, and by the way, what the Europeans need as well.
While the European leaders had long prioritized a ceasefire as the first step toward peace, Trump now appears focused on negotiating a full settlement. Since a full settlement could take months to negotiate and give more time for its forces to seize more land while continuing attacks against civilians. CNN reported that inside the Trump administration, opinions are mixed. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who also serves as Trump's national security advisor, said on ABC that while some progress had been made, there's still a long way to a peace agreement.
I don't think his mind has changed at all. I think ultimately, if this whole effort doesn't work out, then there's going to have to be additional consequences to Russia. But we're trying to avoid that by reaching a peace agreement. And that's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of work. I think there were things that were identified in those talks that we just had a couple days ago that made some progress in some directions. Now, obviously, in order for us to get a peace agreement, Ukraine has to be a part of it. They have to be included. They have to be involved. That's why the president called them on the phone immediately after we got on the airplane. Within an hour, he talked to them for long periods of time. That's why President Zelensky will be traveling to Washington tomorrow, along with several European leaders as well, to continue to work on this. We made progress in the sense that we identified potential areas of agreement, but there remain some big areas of disagreement. So we're still a long ways off. I mean, we're not at the precipice of a peace agreement. We're not at the edge of one, but I do think progress was made towards one.
Meanwhile, European leaders are warning against trusting Putin's commitments. Pointing to Russia's history of breaking promises, Macron wrote on X,
"Any lasting peace must be accompanied by unwavering security guarantees. I welcome, in this regard, the readiness of the United States to contribute. We will work on this with them and with all our partners in the coalition of the willing, with whom we will meet again soon, to make concrete progress. It will also be essential to draw all the lessons from the past 30 years, in particular, from Russia's well-established tendency not to honor its own commitments. We will continue to work closely with the President of the United States and President Zelensky of Ukraine to safeguard our interests in a spirit of unity and responsibility. France remains firmly at Ukraine's side."
Trump's role as a potential peace broker is complicated by his political ambitions and the image he seeks to cultivate. Some allies speculate that ending the war in Ukraine could help him secure a Nobel Peace Prize. But critics argue that pushing through a deal on Russia's terms would amount to rewarding aggression and could destabilize Europe for decades to come. Nicholas Dungan of the European Leadership Network put it bluntly in CNN's report.
The challenge is to try to achieve alignment between what look like very disparate things. What Trump wants, what the Europeans want, what Putin wants. The Europeans want a sovereign Ukraine. Trump wants a peace deal. These are not the same thing.
As the summit approaches, questions remain over whether Trump is prepared to lead an impartial negotiation or is already aligning with Moscow's vision of peace.